Dr. President, ladies and gentlemen, when they first came to see me, to be honest, I have rather reservations whether to come or not. One, because it's a fasting month. But Dr. Henry knows, or rather, Dr. Christian told my PA that he can come even after 9. And that's the reasons why I accepted. But secondly, because I don't want to interpret my presence as something that may not be good for you. The reason is simple. Our people has been so much politicized. We are being defined by the affiliations, the party affiliations that we have chosen. And that exactly, I believe, is our weakness. We don't see our friend as Mamagun, Kadazan, Dusunamurud, because they belong to that party. Sometimes we see them as enemies because they don't come in the same party, or they are not in the same party with us. So I told myself that I will accept to come, but I will not talk about politics, but politician is good in saying things but doing other things. So if for any reasons I do touch on politics, please blame the politician in me, not because I'm a Magun. Yeah. But at this juncture, look at the Jews. I've always talked about the Jews. In America, no president of the no candidate to the president of the United States can ever win the elections without the tacit support of the Jewish movement in the United States. That's a fact. So the irony is that the population of the Jews and the Muslims in the United States are quite equal. Perhaps the Jews are slightly more, but they are quite equal. So that speaks volumes of their influence on politics in America. And why is that? First, they control the economy of the country. They control the media. 7 out of 10 Nobel Prize winners in science and technology are Jews. And honestly, practically the newspapers of the world are also owned by Jews. In the 1930s, or rather before the 1930s, a lot of Jews who were actors and actresses wanted to act in the Hollywood movies. But then, in those days, none, or rather the Hollywood movie was not owned by the Jews. So no Jew or no actor or actresses of Jewish ancestry are able to become famous. Now, during the Depressions, there were big financial problems. Companies were losing money. So the Jews bought over Hollywood. Now that's how Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer came to the picture. Yeah? Only then Jewish actors and actresses were able to act in big films. Nowadays, not only they own the big movie production companies, but some of the biggest names in the Hollywood are Jews. And the reason why I'm telling you this story is because this is how they took over. That's how they make themselves important. And I want to tell you this story simply because there's something in the Jew, there's something among their, there's some part of their culture that perhaps we should ponder. I'm not asking you to become a Jew. I'm just asking you perhaps to ponder and think the possibility that perhaps, there are only 2 perhaps, 3 perhaps is a song. Huh? Perhaps Mamagun could learn a thing or 2 from the Jews. And what are the things that we can learn from them? One, educations. They are the most educated groups in the whole world. Don't talk about America and the whole world. In fact, one of the reasons why they are doing so well is because top students are basically Jews in America. They're educated. 2, they control commerce. You name any banks that are not controlled by the Jews in Europe. In fact, one of the reasons that led to Hitler launching his exterminations program against the Jews is because he was so fed up with the fact that practically all the banks in Europe were run by the Jews. So, commerce. 3, ladies and gentlemen, their sense of belonging to their community. They do not hate each other like us will. You know? They don't undermine each other like us. Just like some people, Masidi in UMNO, he must be MLA. I can tell you I have done more, I think, for the community in Ranau than any MLA have done or any other community have done. That is our problem. Our political problems, our party problem has become the reason for us to undermine each other. In fact, if I were you, and I beg you to say it, to think about it, that should be a reason for us to unite. You know, it's just like the religious difference between the Muslims and the Christians. And I have said this in many times, I want to say it again tonight. You know, Islam and Christianity is, actually there's not much difference. Probably some people said 5 to 10% differences. But look what is happening in the world today. We use 90% of our time talking about the 5-10% differences when we should be utilizing 90% of our time talking about the 90% similarities. But basically that's our problem. And you know why? Because people unfortunately play God. As if God is not great enough. I have said this and many times our problem is because we insist on helping God because we think God is not great enough. And that is our problem in religious differences among our people. Thanks God, it's not that bad in Sabah. But in Semenanjung, I'm sorry to say, if you have friends from Semenanjung, I say this to you. In our local lingo, kau bercangak ka, kau baba, kau punya hal. But we in Sabah, we are not going to follow you. You see? That is your problem, not our problem. And that's how we should look at ourselves. We should not be unduly influenced by events that are taking place outside our shore. We, Sabahan, must stand firm to ensure that Sabahans remain as they are. And this is where the Momogun National Congress can help. It's high time for us to unite. It's okay. If you want to be in PKR, UMNO, whatever the party name it, it's your business, it's your choice. But you should, and we must remain united as Momogun. Why? Because this is how the Jews made it. They could be Republicans, they could be Democrats, but when it comes to common goals, when it comes to common issues, they are one big group called Jews. And I beg you and I hope we will wake up to the reality of politics, that eventually it's not so much of what party you are in, it's about what contribution have you given to your community. I think that should be our focus. So, having said that, I have a couple of things that I want to propose. I'm just want to share your mind. In fact, this proposal I have proposed it over 30 years ago when I was a district officer of Tuaran. That is, I did propose to the government that we should, and land bank for native titles. You know, our problem is we keep on losing native titles through various means. One, conversions to CL. Two, somebody is smart enough to find a nominee, and that native title will be handed to him via a nominee. And then nominee will have another arrangement with the real buyer. But three, actually the main reason is because we need money. Natives need money. They need to send their children to universities and they need money. So they pledge their native titles to whoever they are. Now I propose that perhaps the government, through the creation of a statutory body, should be set up where natives who are desperately in need of money, say for education, can pledge their native title to that bank or rather authority with an option for them to reclaim it or to take it back upon the completion of the studies of their children. So with that, there is no need to sell your native titles to Ahlong or whatever name that you. So what happened? Two, in the event that you cannot or you don't have enough money to buy back your title or to pay your loan, I have suggested that the first option to buy should be offered to the relatives of the person who had taken the loan. The whole idea is to ensure that the land is within the possession of the family that got it in the first place. I want you to ponder about it. Third, only after the debtor cannot pay back the loan and none of his relatives are able to pay and get the title, only then it should be, in my opinion, auction among natives. First, within those who are living in that area where the land is placed, and of course, to the natives in general. So people may ask, why do you want to deny non-natives of this land? The reason is simple. We are called natives because we have land. We possess land. We are called dusun because we own kebun. That's why. If you don't own kebun, it's difficult for me to define you as a momogun. But the problem is, slowly we are losing land inheritance due to various circumstances. So that's the proposal that I want you to think. It may be subject to a lot of fine-tuning, but I think it's worth looking into it. Two, I should also propose to the government, when I say government, that includes me, but it's good that I say it here. I think there's a real need for the government to relook at the so-called power of attorney policy. Rules need to be tightened. At the moment, PA, as it is more popularly known, power of attorney, is being abused as a backdoor way of stealing native lands from the natives. You know, I tell you a story. Statistically, over 90% of all the so-called land grab in Sabah came about of power of attorney. Very serious case. What happened? Another native will ask all the natives in his kampung to apply for a land. Dalang marilah kita pohon 15 ekar seturang. So semua tanda tangan you know lah native mana pandai tulis kan. So everybody cap jari. After some time, dalang untung kita dalang ada balak pula dalam tanah itu dalang. Jadi ada saya sudah suruh orang pergi ambil tu balak. So minggu depan terima 500 ringgit satu orang dalang. So next week all the applicants of the 15 acres pergi Balai Raya get their 500 ringgit each. Sekali lagi thumbprint. Everybody happy. Apalagi sekarang tidak sudah amanah saham tuh. 500 dapat. Unknown to these people, actually have just signed a PA, giving him the right to deal with the land and allowing him to sell the land to another company. The PA is also intended to allow the land application to be amalgamated and to be applied by a company. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, kadang-kadang itu kata mau boleh turi sudah, tiba-tiba bulldozer masuk dalam, rupa-rupanya syarikat asing sudah beli, sudah dapat itu tanah. This is our biggest problem. So, cadangan saya ialah, I think there's a need, kerajaan harus meneliti kembali peruntukan undang-undang bagi tujuan memperketatkan PA ini. Sebagai misalan, I was throwing researchers, selagi tanah enti atau permohonan itu belum ada grant, I think we should consider this allowing power of attorney. Because this is the stage where a lot of our people were tricked into signing something that they didn't know what they were signing. So I leave it to you, the Momogon National Congress, to look into it. I'm not saying I'm right, but probably this is an idea that is worth considering. Why? We want to protect the Momogon. 3, saya tahu this and a lot of people are unhappy. I made a statement. I think we need this. In fact, Dato' Hendro said it. I think there's a need for us to have a change of mindset. What the mindset on working, on kerja. You know, we are totally or nearly dependent on foreign labor. 80% of our plantations are Indonesians. 70% of our construction workers are Filipinos. And luckily, the state government were far-sighted enough a few years ago to decide to ban recruitment of Bangladesh workers in Sabah. Otherwise, we'll have a lot of Shah Rukh Khans in our state today. We don't realize the danger. We recruit them. We recruit the workers. So the talk said, ada lagi ka bos sedang. Boda ada lang. Sabi niya, paci ada lagi mau datang. Lapas paci, lapas adik, entah sepupu. Soon there'll be hundreds of them here. Don't forget. With such a very, very questionable way in which citizenships are granted, soon the workers become citizens. In fact, by operation of international law, if you have been here for 7 years or more, you can actually apply for permanent stay. The same way, if we go to Indonesia and stay there for 7 or 10 years, we too can apply for permanent stay. Actually, the reasons why they are here because, well, one, we need labor. And the reason why we need labor because there are not enough local who want to do that job. Saya tahulah orang cakap, kau pandai cakap lah, kau sudah jadi menteri. I want to tell you, I'm not saying this if I have not done it before. I'm not ashamed to tell you that once upon a time I was a laborer. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Sumbong dia cakap, it's okay, you call me sumbong, but I want to tell you, our problem in the future. If we are not willing to change our mindset and do jobs that others are doing now, trust me, we'll be flooded in no time. Mereka datang kerana adakah peluang, ada opportunity. Ada opportunity kerana orang kita tidak mau ambil opportunity tersebut. Simple economic arithmetic. Bila kita kena tegur, marah. Cobalah dia ada degree mana, saya mau kerja di kelapa sawit. I want to tell you, in humility I said this, I was still working as a salesman long after I graduated as a lawyer. Saya tidak malu. Saya punya muka ini tebal. I am not ashamed. Why? Because I want to prove that what the Chinese can do, what others can do, I too can do. And this should be the mindset that we should emulate. I mean, I'm just giving the Chinese because they are the most hardworking people anyway. Kita tiada. Panas sikit, takut paitong rusak. Kerja panas, takut girlfriend nampak. I tell you, it's better that it's better that we embarrass ourselves in front of our girlfriend than soon begging other people to take us as for a job. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Malu itu ada banyak malu. Miskin, kita tidak perlu malu karena miskin. Tetapi kita harus malu kalau kita tidak bekerja keras untuk mengeluarkan diri kita daripada kemiskinan. I think to me that you should be ashamed. I'm sorry to use harsh words, but I just want you to realize so that the reality of economics really sink in among our people. We need to have a total change in the mindset if we want to proceed. Jangan malu kerja. Don't worry, it's okay. And that I'm very happy that I think Dr. Henry Nison pointed out the fact that I think there's a need for a mindset. Kedua, akhir sekali lah, sorry ya, lambat sikit. Masalah, if you put a politician on the stage, he won't stop talking. Educations. I think we need to accept the fact that the overriding motive or the purpose of education is actually to make ourselves able to think, not merely to find a job. But at the moment, ando laga-laga tak tendo masaneng kanong kerajaan da kapaas ka. Rajinan nando da belajar masaneng kanong kerajaan ka. My son or my daughter, please study hard so that you can find a good job. Ini 20th century punya philosophy. Our current philosophy and the mindset should be work hard so that when we graduate, we are able to think vividly what needs to be done. You see, I'm sorry to all the politicians, and I perhaps is included. Problem today is that we have lost the art of thinking. We don't think anymore. We are so busy with work that we have stopped to think. And it is our loss of the ability to think that actually have made us make a lot of wrong decisions. My plea to you is that let's educate our children so that they are able to think for themselves what needs to be done. Eventually, trust me, it's not so much that who you are. But I think we need to realize that the world is fast changing. If we don't change or we don't tag along, no amount of effort will be able to save us in the world that obviously is going to happen in the next, perhaps, millennium. It will be, yes, we will have a big problem in adapting to changing circumstances. In conclusions, may I, once again, perhaps remind myself and all of you the few points that I hope that the National Congress, the Momogun National Congress will be able to perhaps to think about. One is the creation of an authority in the form of a land bank for native titles. And the reason is simply because we want to save native lands. Just to let you know, I'm from Ranao. Over 50% of all the title land in Kundasang has gone to the outsiders. Over 50%. When I say outside, non-locals. If you can still sleep tonight after hearing this, I'll be surprised. over 50% of all title land in Kundasang have been bought over by non-Kundasangite or non-Ranorians. Two, I think there's a need for the government to relook at the laws governing power patini. Again, this has something to do with the land issue that I have said. And the reason is simple. I think it should not be exploited as a backdoor way of land grab involving native titles. Three, the most important thing, mindset. Gentlemen, ladies, there's nothing wrong with us, trust me. We are as good as anyone else in the world. The Mamugun is as good as anyone else in the world. Trust me. But we need to have a change of mindset. And words should be followed by actions. Jangan pandai bercakap tapi kerja tiada. Kadang-kadang, surprisingly, I'm sorry to say, if you look at all the Facebook postings, semua negatif. We are more interested in finding fault rather than putting up a solution to the problems. It's okay. Criticize, by all means criticize. But we must have solutions. And there must be measurable action to solve that problems. Time for talk is one thing. Let's do it. And I'm very glad that the Mamugun here is set up basically to do that. I want to tell you, Dr. Hendrinus, I'm open to criticism. You're welcome to criticize me because I always believe criticism is good for us. It makes us better. Of course, janganlah tuduh-tuduh yang tiada-tiada. When I say criticism for the good of the community is good. And all of you are always welcome to my office. I don't normally deal with criticisms in the Facebook simply because I think, why should I reply in the Facebook when my door is always open for you to come and have a talk? You know, I used to have 4 accounts of Facebook. Now left with 2. And I migrated to actually, what do you call this? Twitter. The reason is simple. Dr. Richard Gunting, I think you should learn already, sir. Facebook, people can curse you in practically in a few volumes of curses and whatever it is. But Twitter, you are limited to 120 letters. So how much can he curse you in 120 letters, isn't it? So I decided to look after my health and go to Twitter because I don't think there's much that they can curse me in 120 letters, you see. So I'm happier now. That's why I look younger. And finally, I think we should inculcate to this novel idea to our children. Education is intended to make us stronger, not only to enable us to find jobs. If we educate them rightly, trust me, we don't need to find a job. We will create our own jobs. And that basically sums up. When you have economic power, you have political power. You need not, simple arithmetic. Kalau satu pun kerusi kita tidak ada, tapi kalau ekonomi kita pegang, every election people will knock our door. That is our power. And that's why the Jews in America are powerful. If we don't take this opportunity that is available to us, we are bloody fool. Think about it. Yeah? Sorry for the rather rude language, but so that you can really feel the need for us to have a mindset change. So akhir sekali, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my old friend, Dr. Cosmas Abah, for giving me a dictionary, I think it is a dictionary. I hear Dr. Dr. Cosmas. Yeah, thank you. Yes, he's an engineer, but he's compiled a dictionary. That is where he has shown beyond reasonable doubt that age is of no consideration when it comes to output. Yeah? Age is just a number. And if the number is good, it's good for every one of us. So terima kasih saudara sekalian. I would like to stop here by thanking once again Dr. Henry Noes and all his members of his committee for inviting me, and for those who have wasted your precious time listening to me, my grumbling. But I want to assure you that I really mean it. I really want to see our people really succeed in life. If you hate me because of my choice of words, it's okay. But on your way home while you drive, think about what I've said. You may not agree with what I have said, but you know what I've said are the truth. We can escape from the truth. And the sooner we accept what are truths and what are false, the sooner we move forward to reclaim our rightful place in this country. Terima kasih.